Hi, before I proceed, I just want to apologize and warn you that you're going to hear this background noise, terrible quality. It doesn't render this video unwatchable, but it might be a little annoying. But the following movie is a screen recording that I did through QuickTime, and I don't have a proper recording external microphone. So on my MacBook, it sounds like it's going to explode as the memory power just gets more and more taxed while it's recording. So apologies for that sound. And let's continue on with the video. We all know the Bradley Manning story. He was charged and convicted in 2012 for supplying data to WikiLeaks, which they then disseminated, and it was very damning data regarding the Iraq War and stuff. So all kinds of hell broke loose after that. And then in 2013, it was announced through the media that he wanted to live as a woman and that he wanted to be called Chelsea. This was never something that we were treated to as an actual interview with him or a phone call conversation with him. This just came out in a media story and with this accompanying image of Chelsea here. So now this happened a couple years ago, and I didn't really, well, I've always been skeptical of news stories, and I was extremely skeptical of this because, well, just look at the picture. It looks doctored. I mean, to not think that, I don't know, I've been using Photoshop for 20 plus years, so, I know the ins and outs of how easy it is to manipulate and edit images using Photoshop. Now, I don't think anyone needs to be a Photoshop expert, though, to recognize this as a terrible hack job. So nonetheless, with recent events, I've decided I should take a closer look at this, and I should just take a couple of images and, superimpose them on top of each other to see what I find. And sure enough, I found this image of Bradley Manning on the internet. It only seems to be the one image of Google, found in Google search images, of Bradley Manning with this particular pose, looking into the camera the way he is, with his face angled that way, inside of a car. I've only seen one of these, and apparently Frontline used it. I don't know when. Anyway, it's still out there on Google. So this picture, as soon as I saw this, struck me as very similar to this picture. Now, just so you know, I have not doctored this photo or this photo in any way. I just took screen caps and brought them into Photoshop. The only altering of this photo I will be doing will be erasing parts of the image to emphasize my story here. My analysis, I should say, is more what it is. Okay. So what I did before I decided I was going to make a video was I decided I was going to have to analyze this using some rulers. So I would start by taking his eyes, creating a little anchor point with his pupils, and I would then take this image and align her pupils with his pupils. So I had to resize it a little bit until it fit right. And then I decided to change the opacity level gradually. And I realized, wow, those look like the same eyes. Absolutely. Exact same placement. Is it just a coincidence? I think not. Okay? And then I did the same thing with his lips. So I will take some more guidelines. I'll take these ones. Okay? The outer edges of his lips. And, well, actually all I really need are the intersection of where his lips meet and the outer areas. So I have another image that's placed so that they align up very, very closely. Okay, we'll do an opacity fade here as well. See what we get. Look at the nose and the lips. They don't really change a lot. See, you have his freckle here, and his lips and his nose, and then you have her freckle, her lips, and her nose. Very, very, very similar. What I did notice, and what this outlines, is that the nose was photoshopped. It was basically upturned, so the freckle is slightly out of alignment, and it's not exactly the same shape. The nostrils are bigger. Basically, I believe I can say that this nose was feminized. However, the lips don't really change. The only thing that changes is the color. Pretty much the same. Okay, and I will even give you a sample that removes the eyes so that you are not distracted. Okay, I know that looks a little creepy, but what this also does is it shows you that the person who photoshopped this had to cut out a section of the face right underneath the eyes so that they could lower her eyes to give her more of a feminine face. And you can see evidence of that here. I'll go back to the original unadulterated image. You can see evidence of that here. You know, like she had a face transplant in Photoshop. Okay, and the right side of the face. Now, I took out half her face, overlaid it same place, so the lips match up, the nose matches up. Of course, the eyes don't, because, well, I just explained that. But what's interesting about this analysis is there's a line right here. Okay, so when I do an opacity fade there, it appears that that line is evidence of doctoring the contour of his face, again, to feminize it. See how it's more full over here? Watch when I bring it out. The lips are the same, but the cheeks and the cheekbone have all been doctored to be more feminized. And you can say the same thing about his chin area. So, after having gone through this analysis, do you still believe, if you never did, that this is a fake photo, or this is a real photo? Do you believe that this is real? Do you believe that this is Chelsea Manning, and this is what she looked like one day when she decided to put a wig on her head and take her picture and say, this is what I am when I want to be the woman that I identify as? Well, I think it's bullshit, and I think I just analyzed it in a way that proves that. So, one more analysis is the inside of the car. Okay, this original photo inside of a car. This photo inside of a car. However, there are some differences. Do you remember the cartoons from when you were a kid in the newspapers, Hocus Focus? Look for things in one picture that aren't the same as the other picture? Well, we're kind of playing that game here, aren't we? Okay. So notice this outline of the car window. I guess that's the back seat. And in this image, it's been doctored to look like her driver's side window is open. And the giveaway here is that right about this point here, the line has a bend in it. Now, cars are manufactured to precision. So you don't see bends in any framing anywhere in a car unless it's an old jalopy that's been in a few accidents. So this is a giveaway right here that this was doctored. This was created. And then you go over to this side of the car, and in the original image, you have the seat, you have the back window, the rear window, and the roof. And in this image, you have a whole big mess of pixels. So basically, this was doctored to, for some reason, look like a facsimile of a black and white newspaper image. In 2013, in the digital age, why would this be the only image that circulates around the internet to support the narrative of Bradley Manning turns into Chelsea Manning? And not only that, but she, at this point, even in 2013 when it was announced that she was Chelsea Manning, she wanted to be a woman, identified it as a woman, why would she have a face that suddenly becomes feminized when, as far as we all know, she's never had surgery? So there's just so many things that don't make sense in the story. So the question is, why is this story proliferated, and why is it so widely believed that Chelsea Manning is who she says he is? What is the motive? What does this have to do with transgender and gender dysphoria hysteria? That is the question, isn't it?